I want to give a shout out to Oliver Larkin, who we're hopefully going to have on the stream before the election. When you go on Fox News, this is how you handle your business.
It is fine with you. Is there a benchmark? Is it fine? How many children can be raped and it's fine if you're in relation to the immigration community?
If we're going to talk about children being raped, then we need to hold this pedophile president, Donald Trump, accountable, and all those that have been implicated by the Epstein files that the Department of Justice is still not leaking. And they've sent AIPAC after Thomas Massey for having the temerity to hold
Larkin,
accountable the pedophiles that are in control of our government.
Thank you. We appreciate your time very much.
Get him off. Get him off. Can't have him on. He can't be talking like that. Hypocrisy knows no bounds when, of course, you're going after other people and those that are not in the club. Now, Oliver, who I like personally, known him for several years, statistically, say that his election is still a very, very outside shot, and it probably is. However, if you're going to have a platform and you're going to use it well, this is one of those ways to do it, and I appreciate him doing it. They're all hypocrites. Now, when you think about how things are unfolding, particularly with the Senate race, I do believe that Abdul al-Sayed is going to win. I believe he might actually win easily. And perhaps that is the sea change that is happening. But I've also been clear that if he does win, the Democratic establishment is going to basically work to get Mike Rogers elected. They'll go all in on Tellerico in Texas, but they're not really as concerned about whether or not, hey, you know, can we win the Senate? Well, as long as we win it on our terms, we're not going to lose the Senate on the progressives' terms. And Sharma also came out and talked about the fact that Planned Parenthood just came out and endorsed Adam Smith. Is that surprising to anybody? Well, it shouldn't be. Adam Smith is obviously in the club, and so is Planned Parenthood. Deceptively, as I have pointed out time and again, and I'll point it out here, Planned Parenthood, as much as any NGO organization, works tirelessly behind the scenes to make sure single-payer healthcare never becomes law. Why? Because if single-payer was law, they really wouldn't have a need for Planned Parenthood, at least nowhere near in the capacity that it's currently in. And that means dollars go away, and that means jobs go away. The for-profit health system is all interconnected, even to organizations like Planned Parenthood. So the frustrations from Sharma and anybody else is very well understood. And so that shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody either. I think Cori Bush has an excellent chance of winning her race. I think the district, which is a overwhelmingly black district that she was representing in Missouri's first district, which is St. Louis and East St. Louis, and Wesley Bell, who is a total Uncle Tom, does the dance, Bojangles style, for the Israel lobby. He got like 11 or $12 million when he ran the first time. This time he's gotten not nearly as much, but he's gotten a lot. I think like 6 or 7 million. I mean, who knows what type of a rush that they're going to, push at the 11 o'clock hour to try to make sure that he can get over the finish line. But Corey's in very good shape. A good friend of mine who's on the ground there has said that things are looking very good for Cori. She deserves to be on Capitol Hill. She's done some good stuff. I don't agree with everything that she does, but I know her heart's in the right place. In addition to that, I think that Haley Stevens is a prime example of somebody who was just a really lousy candidate. You can't sell shit. You can try, but she's just total shit. And Abdul al-Sayed is a great candidate. And when you have a great candidate, anything can happen. As Henry Kajawa says, it's all BS. If we had single payer, lots of jobs would go away, but lots of new jobs would be created. Yes. In fact, I would say if you're looking for a reason why single payer is not the law of the land, and one of the main reasons why we're still trying to prove to people that this is the right way to go, it's very simple. If you had a single payer healthcare system, you wouldn't be obligated to stay with your employer to get your health insurance. And that's a big thing for companies like Walmart and Amazon. They count on the desperate. So that's why these organizations all work together. It's why single payer is the single most important piece of legislation that could pass in our lifetime, that could change the most amount of lives, on the domestic side anyway. And that's something that Oliver Larkin will fight for. That's something that Abdul El-Sayed will fight for. That is something that Shama Sawant is definitely going to fight for. And it is certainly something that Cori Bush has fought for and will fight for again if she is fortunate enough to win on Tuesday as well. There are other candidates who are running in various races that are progressive, and those elections could have considerable consequences as well. Now, Ben, I believe I sent you one other clip. You know, we can take this one down of Oliver, and we could pull it. Any of the ones that are just there that don't need to be there at this point. But I sent you one. Let me make sure that I did. I'm pretty sure I did. Let me double check. If I didn't, I will resend it. Okay. I haven't sent it. I don't know how long it would take you to upload it, but I will send it, and you'll give me a quick thumbs up if this is something that can be uploaded. All right. Just sent it over, so give it a quick look-see. And if we can get that up in the next minute or two, that'd be great. I will absolutely, Bojangles. The irony's not lost on me. And we'll fight for other Peter Parkers and well, I won't fight for Thiels. I don't know why you think I'm going to fight for him. He's fighting to end us. Never forget, this is a man who sat down for an interview and said, I'm not really sure if humanity deserves to survive. And he's being very honest about that. I think what he really wanted to say is, no, humanity's not going to, but then he stopped himself and he thought about it and realized, yeah, this kind of makes me look really shitty. So maybe I shouldn't say that. And that in itself, I think, was a very big deal. Now, guys, if you haven't hit that like button yet, please make sure that you do. Please like and share the stream. Ben, give me a thumbs up if you can get it, if it's going to be quick. That's what I'm talking about. And you know, what's interesting is that thumbs up actually came up from me. There's like other things that I could do that I can make the screen. It's like happy birthday, celebrate. There's like certain words that it also picks up on. Isn't it amazing what this AI is doing? We're going to get to Nick Fuentes in a little while. You'll understand why I really want to wring that little bastard's neck. I didn't have the containment fence up. No, that's okay. You're good. I see what you just wrote, but that's fine. So there is an element here that I don't want people to forget about these elections. And as I've said, I think you have every right to support who you think is the right person to support in any given situation. I do think electoral politics matters. I don't think they're going to solve our problems. That's going to be up to us. But as I pointed out before, and we'll discuss further on Monday, because for a number of them who might ultimately get into elected office, it's the same story when it comes to somebody like Zoran. Zoran is not necessarily the person who is going to lead the effort from an elected body, but he's not going to get in the way. He's not somebody who's going to be like, oh, I'm in a position of power now, so now I have to fight against the people. No, in fact, he is the type of person who's going to step aside, who's going to allow people to get through the door now that would otherwise have not been able to do so beforehand. Unfortunately, we can't say that for everybody who's in an elected office, including somebody who a lot of people think is going to be running for president of the United States.
Surprised to see, you know, how excited people are when there's these polling numbers showing this buzz, as they say, about you and your candidacy?
Yeah, I am surprised by it. You know, I think sometimes people would talk about it, and I was always candidly like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, whatever.
We're talking about being the leader of the free world here. We're not talking about winning, you know, prom queen. We're talking about something of incredible consequence, and yet, I mean, you all know what my opinion is of Emma Vigeland. And obviously, I am highly skeptical of Alex. I have been for a very long time. You'll bear with me, brother. We all have to suffer together. Now, I bring this up because I thought to myself, well, why is it that Alex is endorsing El Said in this race, even though it's clear that the establishment wants Haley Stevens? And it kind of dawned on me what it really came down to. It turns out that El Said might have actually been a sure thing from the very beginning. She might have carefully assessed that, oh, he's great and she's terrible. I actually, and I said this from the beginning, you guys remember, I actually said, if McMorrow was still in the race, I actually think she would have had a better shot. I think she had a better personality than Stevens did. And now, obviously, that's sat in spades, for sure. That being said, there is another gentleman who is running for a congressional seat in Michigan, who apparently is a very solid progressive. I believe his last name is Russell. If anybody in the chat can remind me of who is the other congressional progressive running right now that has a reasonably decent chance of winning on Tuesday. And he's been endorsed by a plethora of who's who within the progressive movement. Tlaib, Omar, Bernie. Somebody's got to remind me in the chat, because like I said, I think his name is something Russell, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure that that's his name. But the point is, all of these progressives, they've all come out and have endorsed him, except her. You name the people. I'm getting upset with you guys. You guys are not helping. Come on, where's my awesome chat? No, it's not the Asian governor lady. It's another gentleman who's running. I think he's running in the 13th congressional district. I think that that's the one. I think it's MI13. Progressive. Come on, give me something. You've got Donovan McKinney. That he's running against Sharif Thanadir, but that's not the one he's running against. But the point is, there is a no. Come on, guys. There is a person that is running in Michigan who is, it's not Donovan McKinney. He's the guy who's running against the Zio nutjob. There's one other gentleman who's running. Michigan primary. I'm pretty sure his name is Russell. Is it No, it's not Russell Berman. That's not. Not getting it. But anyway, if anybody comes up with the name, maybe it's Russell Berman. Maybe that's him, David. I think you might be right. Okay. So here's the thing. If this name is correct, and I believe it is. So Russell Berman. No, it's not Bill Russell. Good try, though. Russell Berman has been endorsed by the entire progressive wing, essentially, led by Abdul El Sayed, mind you. Or Richard B. Russell Jr. Let me make sure. I think you might be right. So I knew that Russell was in the name. Richard Russell. Primary. No, that is not it. I think you guys are throwing me off here. I'm going to go with David Hunter. He knows what he's talking about. I'm pretty sure it's Russell Berman. So anyway, the point is, all of these guys, and I do mean all of them, endorsed him in the election. But Alex didn't endorse him. I mean, if everybody thinks he's such a swell, progressive guy, why wouldn't you endorse? I would think for this election, that'd be a pretty big deal. But no endorsement. None. Okay, now I'm getting another one with Richard Russell Jr. Okay, whoever it is, if it's Russell Berman or Richard Russell Jr., I would have to do a poll on this thing. But the whole pomp and circumstance is what I find the most distasteful about politics. This is about real world consequences. This is about people's lives, livelihoods. And all the while, Alex goes on to talk with Emmer Vigeland. To talk about what? To talk about more cheerleading? Hey, aren't the Dems great? Aren't we going to change the world and all of it? She's telling you who she is, and yet there are too many people who are going to get caught up in this. The only way she wins is if she caves, and she wants that power. And in my opinion, she will cave. All the signs point to it that she will. She's fortifying her positions to make sure that she has a support network to get through there. And in some cases, she probably will. Zoran might very well support her. We know that Hassan Piker is going to basically be who's going to run her campaign outreach. That's for sure, especially when it comes to phone bank engagement, things of that nature. And they'll do well. They will. But in some ways, it also shows you how dead the party really is. Let's keep that in mind. We'll finish it up.
But then some of these polls came out, and I'm like, what is happening? I was in Memphis, and Justin Pearson, we were campaigning for him, and there were some folks actually that had driven out from Arkansas, and they were talking about like the straw polls out there. And I'm like, I don't, but I think people are pissed off.
Yeah.
This gobbledygook, giggly shit is not going to work. Who do you think this is going to work on? And that doesn't mean that there aren't certain policies that Alex wouldn't fight for that wouldn't be good. But this is life and death for a lot of people. And there is a lot of people who are looking at the dollar signs of her run and saying, well, it doesn't really matter if she wins or not. It just matters that she is going to run, and I believe she's going to run. But this whole like, oh my God, me, little old me? You want me to run for president? This isn't a pep rally. This is real life. Do I think that she could be a VP pick? Yeah, I could see that. And I also want people to recognize that you can't just flip over the board and say, we're not going to support anybody in the Democratic Party. We're not going to have any influence. You be strategic. Strategy is everything. And so when we think about the upcoming elections on Tuesday, you've got 3 top-notch candidates who are running, who have a real chance to win. And let's make sure that they do. Shama Sawant, Abdul El-Sayed, and Cori Bush. If you ask me, that would be one hell of a day to get Shama to the top 2, to get Saeed the nomination, and to get Cori a walkthrough to re-election should she win the primary. That's what we should be aiming for. That is the most likely scenario that, in my gut, is telling me that could happen. And so here's hoping for the best.